I've been waiting at least 2 months to make this video. Well, other stuff got in the way, funny videos came, J-Station happened. So today we're gonna hear the story about how the backpack kid, the kid that does all the Fortnite dances, had sex for the first time.
I'm the backpack kid, and this is the story about how I lost my virginity.
I don't feel okay, yeah, I don't feel okay, yeah, I don't feel okay, yeah, I don't feel okay, you don't switch up on me, I don't need your help.
That was a shitty ass intro. That's like the intros you see with the kids who are like they have either queen in their name or king, and then they use emojis in their fucking thumbnails and shit.
Now, a little disclaimer. If you know you're not supposed to be watching this video, then just don't watch it. I don't really say nothing too bad, but just in case, you know. So here's how it all began. I got booked for an appearance in Connecticut. Yes, Connecticut. Because Connecticut gotta be lit too, you know? So this appearance...
This is probably the shittiest editing I've ever seen. Connecticut gotta be lit too, you know?
It was a high school prom.
Holy shit, he piped a high schooler, bro. No way. Bro, I'm gonna have to call the authorities.
So Amazon set it up. Amazon booked me to come to Connecticut, to come to this prom, and just, you know, take photos, dance a little bit, have fun at prom, you know? So when we got the contract finalized and everything, I went to Connecticut. It was my first time in Connecticut, so you know what the first thing I had to do was when I was there? Had to go to Yale. I've always been interested in Yale, because it's just such a high-end college, like, what is it, 20 grand, if not more, for a semester?
I don't know.
That's fi. That's fi. That's fi.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
That's fi. Like, bro, you're saying an Ivy League school is fi.
Like, that's a good college, you know? It's like, what, one of the top 20, 30, 5, 10, 8, 13 in the state?
Bitch.
And country.
That was probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. 20, 30, 5, 10, 8, 15 in the state. And country. What the f*** are you talking about, bro?
Now, this was pretty much a weekend trip. Went there Saturday morning, left Sunday morning. So, yeah, just really like a 24-hour trip. Now, prom, it's at night, so I kind of had this whole day to go to Yale. So I went to Yale. The buildings are pretty old, as I suspected. It's like several hundred years old. I don't even know. So I just opened the doors and start walking around Yale, like, while they're having classes and stuff. And since the doors there don't have windows, or at least the part that I went to, I just opened a door, and there was a class just having class. And they're like, yo, is that the backpack kid? I was like, yeah. But then I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Just forget I was here. I didn't mean to disrupt y'all in y'all's calculus or whatever classes y'all are taking. But going to Yale, yeah, I enjoyed that. Like, I like going to high-end colleges like that, even though I'm not really enrolled. That gives me a great idea. I'm gonna enroll just for fun. But anyway, sorry. I'm getting off track talking about Yale and college education and math.
This is so like the cringe level is on an all-time high with this shit right here. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Alright, so from Yale, let's just fast forward until the time that I gotta go to prom. So, I go to the prom. The prom was pretty lit. I had a full like shiny outfit that Amazon wanted me to wear, and like I was like standing out. I was literally outstanding. But I like Amazon. Amazon, if you're watching this, I don't know why you're watching a video about how I lost my virginity, but if you're watching this, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Amazon, for letting the backpack kid have his first sexual experience.
So I pulled up to the prom, and of course nobody knew I was gonna be there. Just Amazon wanted to surprise everybody. So I pulled up, everybody went crazy. They went like, yes, sir.
Everyone went crazy. They're like, yes, sir. Dog, what if someone actually like saw the backpack kid walk in and he's like, yes, sir.
Well, after that, prom was over, so I went back to the hotel. Now, some of y'all watching this are probably like, so you didn't take home one of the girls at the prom to lose your virginity to? And the answer is no.
Then what does that have to do with the whole story of you going to prom? We get it, you went to Connecticut. He could literally just be telling the story. I'm like 3 minutes into this video and I still don't know how.
But here's what did happen. So I go back to the hotel, and in the hotel, I'm like, okay, so I have this whole night to kind of like just do whatever in Connecticut. But it was my first time, and it's Connecticut, so I didn't really know like what there was to do. So I go on Instagram. Instagram always coming in clutch for you, boy. And I go to places, then I go to nearby. Now the reason I went to places on Instagram is because I was trying to find like maybe an event or a party or just somewhere I could go because I'm about to leave Connecticut the next morning.
That's the biggest bullshit I ever heard. Who looks on places on Instagram to find if there's a party?
But while I was scrolling, it was just a lot of photos of people at Yale. But I stopped scrolling because something caught my eye. There's this one girl's Instagram there that tagged New Haven in a photo. And I was like, she kind of cute.
I was like, hey, she's kind of cute. Why do you have to put that picture of New Haven right there? Like, okay, we know it's New Haven, Connecticut. It's not New Haven, Saskatchewan, motherfucker.
And I said to myself, well, there's not really anything else in the nearby tags, so I'm gonna just hit her up right quick. So I followed up on that, and I DM'd her. I just sent her a heart. And the thing is, it was kind of late.
That's a little sus. Imagine, like, the backpack kid just DMing you a heart, and then that's it. A little sus.
So I didn't really expect her to reply back at all until like the next day or something. But she replied within the hour. It was probably around 11 or midnight. So we just kind of started talking from there. So we was talking a little bit for about an hour. And then I was like, yo, this is my last day here. Trying to link up? And then she said, no! No, I'm kidding. She said yes. And I was like, let me call you an Uber. And then she said, all right, that's fine.
Wow, great conversation, huh?
So we set that up, and she was on the way. And I was like, yes, sir.
Yo, when your girl is on the way, yes, sir.
But while we were talking, she told me that she was a virgin too. So none of us had experience. So by the time the Uber comes to the hotel, it was 3 a.m.
Whoa. You're telling me it took her 3 hours to get to this hotel? That's a little sus.
So I was waiting in the lobby, waiting for her to come in. And then she came in. I was like, hey! And then she was like, hey!
Hey, bitch, you trying to
It didn't happen like that. We just gave each other hugs. And while we were walking from the lobby to the elevator to go up to my room, I looked at the clerk, the hotel clerk. And then he looked at me. I was like, all right, he knows what's up.
I was like, he already knows what's up.
So we get in the elevator, go up the elevator, stop in the elevator, leave the elevator, and we go to my hotel room, which was really close to the elevator door. So I take my key card out of my pocket, I put it in the little thing in the door, it said, I was like, what? So I put it in again, it said, So I put it in one more time, it was like, and then I was like,
there's like a minute left of the video. I still don't know the experience yet.
this is what happens when you put your room key next to your phone in your pocket. It gets deactivated!
Deactivated! Dog, what are you talking about? Just tell us the story. You're just rambling on at this point, bro.
So I had to go back down the elevator to the clerk and get a new card while she waited at the room. So I had to go back down the elevator while she waited at the room and go back to the clerk to get a new key. But that was kind of funny because I went up to the clerk and then he was like, so you about to have some fun? And then I pulled a Kodak. I was like,
I hope so.
okay. Now I go back in the elevator, go up the elevator, stop in the elevator, and then I go out of the elevator and go back to my room where she was waiting at the door. And then I put the key card in and it worked. So now that we finally have access to the room, we go in the room, close the door, and go crazy.
Wow. Great story.
We kind of chilled for a bit before we actually started though. But when we did start, I was kind of more excited about the fact that I was losing my virginity more than the fact that I was like doing it. So if that makes sense, like.
Oh, that's what you want to hear. That's what the girl wants to hear. He's more excited that he's losing his virginity, not that you're here. You don't fucking matter. It's really just about the backpack. You're going, yes, sir.
I was more I was more excited about the fact that I was losing my virginity more than actually how it felt. That's a better way to put it. Cause you know your boy was going crazy. He was like, "Yes, sir."
Wait, it was a dude? That's a little sus. Backpack kid going to be like, hold on, I can't f***ing show you them doing the floss, hold on. Backpack kid was pulling up to her, he's like, "Yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir." Holy f***, that winded me. Ladies, if you want to have sex with the backpack kid, he'll go like, "Yes, sir."
She was there for about 2 hours. It was like 5, 6 a.m. And the flight was at 8.
The flight was at 8. Funny joke, right?
Yeah, so it was like 5, 6 a.m. We were just kind of chilling. But she had work in the morning, so I had to Uber her home. So we go out the room, go into the elevator, go down the elevator, stop in the elevator, and go out the elevator. So I called her an Uber. It was 7 minutes away. Yeah. She gets in the Uber. She goes off home. I go back up to my room. I'm like, "Let's go!" I was probably overreacting a little bit. I was like, oh my god, I just lost my virginity. But to be fair, I'm sure most people are like that when they lose it. So from that day forth, I wasn't the backpack kid anymore. I was the backpack man. And I think that concludes the story about how I lost my virginity.
That's probably the shittiest video I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm glad I made the video now. He's like, "Yes, sir." My story of losing my... Hold on, let's get a nice car background right here to mimic the backpack kid. So, as you can see, here's a story about how I lost my virginity. So I went to McDonald's and I was in the drive-thru and shit, and I was like... So I get in my car, I drive out my driveway, I drive down the street, I go down the other street, I go onto the highway, I pull into the drive-thru in the McDonald's, stop in the drive-thru in the McDonald's, and then wait my turn, and then drive through the drive-thru in McDonald's. So the lady at McDonald's is like, "Hey, what you want?" And I'm like, "Let me get a 10-piece McNugget. Also, a quarter pounder with cheese, and a sweet tea." Then she's like, "Is that all?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." Then she was like, "Hey, is that all?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." Then I drive out the drive-thru, I drive down the highway, I get off the exit, I drive up the street, and I'm back home. Little did I know, I opened the bag of the McDonald's, and they didn't give me any sauce. So then I get in my car, I go down my driveway, I go down the street, I go back to the highway, then I go back to McDonald's, back in the drive-thru, stop in the drive-thru, and then go through the drive-thru. She's like, "Hey, what do you want?" I'm like, "You didn't give me my fucking buffalo sauce." She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then I'm like, "Okay." So I stop, and I start driving a little, and then she's there, and I'm like, "Hey, let me get my buffalo sauce." And she's like, "All right, sorry." So she gives me the buffalo sauce, and she touches my hand. I'm like, "Yes, sir." So then I drive through, I get on the highway, I drive home, I go up the street, I go into my driveway, and I park my car. Now, I walk inside my house, I sit down, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I lost my virginity." "Yes, sir." I'm like, "Let's go." And then I was like, I think I'm gonna go to Connecticut because Anthony Fantano gotta be lit too, Thank you to Uber Eats for sponsoring this video. I'm just kidding, they didn't do anything. But yes, sir. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video.